Hey survivors! Today, we're diving deep into all the incredible changes coming with Project Zomboid Build 42. This update is shaping up to be a game changer, and there's a lot to cover. From crafting overhauls and wildlife, to major improvements in lighting, the map, multiplayer, and more. So, grab your weapons and let's get into everything you need to know about Build 42. Crafting Overhaul Professions. Let's kick things off with the Crafting Overhaul, which is by far one of the most detailed and game-changing aspects of Build 42. In this update, crafting is being expanded with deeper crafting trees and a greater emphasis on post-apocalyptic professions. Think of it this way. Survival will no longer be about knowing just a few recipes, but about building up complex skills over time. Crafting Progression. In Build 42, crafting will include more advanced processes, starting with basic raw materials like wood or iron ore, and moving all the way up to complex tools and structures. For example, instead of simply creating a wooden wall, you might need to process logs into planks, refine iron into nails, and assemble everything using blacksmithing skills. The devs are introducing an almost modular approach to how you craft things, making each project a multi-step process. Blacksmithing Metalworking. Blacksmithing will be a brand new profession in Build 42, and it's going to open up a lot of exciting possibilities. Not only can you craft and upgrade your weapons, but the update also introduces the ability to forge armor and tools. The key is in the materials. You'll need to gather resources like iron ore, build furnaces, and create charcoal just to begin crafting basic metal tools. The entire blacksmithing system encourages long-term planning and resource management, giving you a more satisfying, in-depth survival experience. Expanded Professions. On top of that, the profession system is expanding. Expect to see specialized roles, like mechanics who can repair vehicles, or engineers who craft complex machinery. These roles tie directly into the crafting system, encouraging you to team up with friends in multiplayer, or focus on certain professions to survive solo. New gameplay mechanics: liquid mixing, packaging, key rings, and pottery. There are some nifty new gameplay mechanics coming as well. First up is the liquid mixing feature. You'll be able to mix different liquids like water, gasoline, or even alcohol for a variety of uses. Imagine mixing a Molotov cocktail or diluting gasoline to stretch your fuel supply. Packaging also comes into play, where you'll be able to bundle and organize your resources better. No more cluttered inventories. Key management is getting a boost with key rings that will let you organize and label keys for easier navigation through locked buildings. And for those who enjoy crafting unique items, pottery is being introduced, giving you another way to create useful and decorative items for your base. Weapons, armor, and combat changes. Combat in Build 42 is also seeing some serious upgrades. Weapons are now customizable, with crafting systems allowing you to add spikes to baseball bats or reinforce hammers with metal parts. There are also new weapons being added into the mix, and many of the existing ones have new crafting recipes and repair systems. And what about armor? We're getting new types of armor that can be crafted, found, or even scavenged off zombies. Expect functional armor like riot gear or padded jackets to be critical as you fend off zombie bites. Some zombies will now have spikes on them, making them deadlier and harder to fight in close quarters. Environmental improvements: grass, foraging biomes, and metal fences. Build 42 also brings massive environmental changes. The grass system has been updated with more realistic growth and dynamic textures. The game now includes foraging biomes, meaning different regions will offer unique resources. This will make foraging a much deeper activity. You'll need to travel to specific biomes to gather certain plants, mushrooms, and materials. And finally, metal fences are now breakable. Before they were an impenetrable defense, but now zombies can tear them down, which adds a new layer of urgency when setting up your safe house. Grappling system doors. In Build 42, a new grapple mechanic has been introduced, allowing players to interact more with zombie corpses. Now, you can grab and drag dead zombies around the map, which adds a new level of strategy. Whether you're clearing areas or setting up traps, this feature lets you manage the environment more effectively, especially when corpses block your path or attract more zombies. Previously, when you opened or closed a door, it would instantly jump to the new state without a smooth transition. Now, doors have proper opening and closing animations, making interactions more natural and visually immersive. This eliminates the old teleporting effect, where doors seem to magically change position. Wildlife animal husbandry. Now let's talk about the introduction of wildlife, which will be another major change in the game. For the first time, Project Zomboid will feature animals like raccoons and turkeys roaming the world. You'll not only be able to hunt them for food, but there's also a new animal husbandry system where you can raise livestock, like chickens and cows. Farming integration. What's cool here is how the wildlife and farming systems interact. You'll be able to raise chickens for eggs or cows for milk, providing renewable food sources. However, there's a challenge. Keeping these animals alive will take careful planning. You'll need to build pens, feed them, and protect them from both zombies and the harsh weather. This adds a new layer of long-term survival strategy, especially in multiplayer servers where resources may be scarce. Fishing butchery. For all you survivalists out there, fishing is getting a complete rewrite. It's not just about casting a line anymore. You'll need to use different types of bait, lures, and even keep an eye on the weather and time of day for better catches. Expect to see species-specific fishing techniques, and maybe even craft your own rods and traps. Plus, there's a new butchery system. After catching an animal, you'll be able to break it down into parts, depending on your skill level. Every animal will have different butchering results, impacting how much food and materials you can get from them. Map expansion variable chunk heights. The map expansion in Build 42 is another exciting change that will open up new areas to explore. This is all thanks to the introduction of variable chunk heights, which means that the map can now feature buildings up to 32 stories tall. That's 4 times the previous limit of just 8 floors. Exploring verticality, this new system allows for more complex and detailed maps, with skyscrapers and tall apartment blocks becoming key areas to loot or defend. Imagine barricading yourself in a high-rise building, setting up camp several stories above the chaos below. This verticality will offer new tactical possibilities, especially in multiplayer games. New map features, basements, buildings, remodeling. The map is getting a huge update, starting with the addition of basements. For the first time in Project Zomboid, you'll be able to build or explore multi-level structures that include basements. These underground areas will provide extra storage, shelter, or crafting space. Plus, buildings are being remodeled, with old structures getting revamped layouts, new interior designs, and more detail. It'll make the game feel fresh, even in familiar areas. Lighting system optimization. One of the most talked about updates is the brand new lighting system. In the current game, lighting is static. Every room is equally lit, whether it's day or night. But in Build 42, the new light propagation system will introduce realistic lighting based on your environment. Realistic light behavior. For example, if you're inside a windowless room, it'll now be pitch dark unless you have a light source. When the sun is setting, you'll see the sunset's glow creeping into the room through the windows, gradually fading as night falls. Likewise, opening doors or windows will let light flow into other rooms, casting realistic shadows and creating a more immersive experience. Multiplayer enhancements. Multiplayer in Project Zomboid has always been a fan favorite, and Build 42 is looking to improve that experience significantly. One of the biggest changes is that inventory interactions will now be handled server-side rather than client-side. This means that all actions, like trading or managing your stash, will be synced more efficiently, reducing issues like item duplication or desyncs. New crafting roles in multiplayer. This server-side overhaul also ties into the crafting system, which will make multiplayer even more collaborative. In larger multiplayer servers, different players can take on specific roles, like a blacksmith, carpenter, or farmer, creating a true community-driven survival experience. Imagine working together to build a thriving base, each person contributing their unique skills. And let's not forget the new newspapers, which add to the game's lore and give players a glimpse of what happened before the apocalypse. These storytelling elements add layers of immersion as you piece together the world's downfall through in-game collectibles. Many years later, finally, let's talk about a new game mode called Many Years Later. In this mode, you'll play after several years have passed since the initial apocalypse. Nature will have taken over the world with overgrown towns, collapsed buildings, and advanced decay everywhere. This mode will introduce new survival challenges like more dangerous wildlife, fewer resources, and environmental hazards. It's essentially a hard mode for veteran players who've mastered the early days of the apocalypse. In Build 42, characters will now make more vocal sounds, including grunts, screams, sneezes, and coughs. These new audio cues add a level of immersion, reflecting your character's physical state. For example, if you're fighting or in pain, your character might grunt or scream. Likewise, if you're sick or exposed to cold weather, they could sneeze or cough. These sounds can even attract zombies, making illness or injury a dangerous threat in the wrong circumstances.
Hey! Hey!
Hey! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Hey! Psst. Hey! Hey!
Conclusion. Project Zomboid's Build 42 is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious updates the game has ever seen. With its deep crafting systems, realistic lighting, map expansions, and multiplayer improvements, this update is going to completely change how we experience the game. Whether you're hunting animals, building a 32-story fortress, or managing resources with friends in multiplayer, there's something in Build 42 for every type of player. As for the release date of Build 42, it's expected to drop in fall 2024. The delay is mainly due to the massive scope of the update. The Indie Stone is working hard on adding new features like crafting systems, graphical improvements, and the revamped late game mechanics, all of which take time to polish. The developers have also been reworking a lot of the game's core systems, which is why the update is taking longer than usual. While it's not quite ready yet, they've reassured us that it's getting close. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the upcoming Project Zomboid Build 42 update, make sure to give the video a like and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. I'll be doing a full Let's Play when Build 42 drops, so stay tuned for that. Feel free to leave a comment below on what you're most excited about, and I'll catch you in the next one.